I'm Dr. Diaz Pranita, and I'm delighted to welcome you again to Topic 2 of the Principle of Event Sustainability Massive Open Online course. In this module, we will explore the attributes of event sustainability. Understanding these attributes is important in creating events that are not only successful, but also sustainable in every sense of the word. The history of event sustainability started with the emergence of global sustainable development movement that must also be adopted in event management. It actually, since 1972, global awareness on the environment starting from the first UN Conference on Human Environment, which established Stockholm Declaration. In 1980 is the first time the concept of sustainable development emerged from the publication of World Conservation Strategy. In 1987, the renowned Brundtland Report issues as the first definition on sustainable development that led to the creation of Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. In 1990s were famous global commitments like Rio Earth Summit, the Declaration of MDGs, and Kyoto Protocol on emission reduction targets emerged. Starting in early 2000, the UN committed on MDGs and the initial World Summit on Sustainable Development appears. Finally, in 2015, the UN committed on SDGs that have 17 goals and 169 related targets adopted. Sustainability standards in event management comes much later as the more pressure on sustainable practices to be implemented and adopted in all business sectors. British Standard BS 8901 in 2007 on sustainable event management was developed to deal with specific sustainability challenges faced by the industry to incorporate sustainability into the event industry. It is a framework for continual improvement, a system for implementing a process to work in a sustainable way, but not for creating a sustainable event. The standard can be used by event organizers, venues, suppliers, and contractors. Later, COP26 in 2029 issued by United Nations Climate Change Conference in Glasgow to demonstrate their true commitment to sustainability. The organizers of this event followed ISO 20121 on event sustainability management systems, an international standard for sustainable events that highlights the key benefits that can help the event industry in the future and enhance their sustainability goals. ISO 20121 was developed to consider and enhance sustainability as part of a worldwide framework that emphasizes the impact of activities. COP26 is a carbon neutral event and become the first COP to have achieved PAS 2060 validation on carbon neutrality to reduce and avoid emissions at the highest level. Now, what is the definition of event sustainability? Event sustainability is a principle and a philosophy in managing events that takes three important aspects into consideration: environmental protection, social growth, and economic progress. It is an event that is designed, organized, and implemented in a way that minimizes potential negative impacts that leaves a beneficial legacy for the host community and all involved. Event sustainability also posits a desirable future state for human societies in which living conditions and resource use meet human needs without undermining the sustainability of natural systems and the environment, so the future generation may also have their needs met. Rudge and Musgrave identified 5 pillars as the building blocks of a sustainable event. It is how event contributes to people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. There are positive impacts on sustainable events to those pillars. For example, for people, it improves civic pride, community development, increased employment, local employment, and increased local resources and services. For the planet, raising awareness on environmental issues, development of wasteland, and long-term conservation of land. And for prosperity, direct and indirect expenditure will give to the locals increased property value, regeneration, additional trade and business, induced development, construction expenditure, even production extension, transport infrastructure, and long-term promotional benefits. For peace, the event organizing can improve inclusion and equal opportunities. And for peace, the event organizing can improve inclusion and equal opportunities. Increase access for attendees with reduced mobility, or we can say as inclusive or inclusion for everybody. For the partnership, support local business, support less developed venues, develop links between government, private and civil organizations, and also supporting least developed countries or regions are of the benefits of event organizing. While we have identified rigorous positive impacts, however, there are also negative impacts that should be addressed in event planning and management, all in 5 pillars. For example, the negative impacts for people is resident exodus, lifestyle disruption, community apathy, unequal distribution, and failure to recruit local. For the planet, the negative event is the site location damage, waste and pollution, noise pollution, traffic congestion, or increase in energy demand. For the prosperity, the negative impacts could be the increased cost of event failure to local or national economy, inflated price of products, services, and amenities, unequal distribution of wealth, underutilized of infrastructure, interaction of normal business, price increase for local products, or transport congestion. For the peace, we can find vandalism from event organizing, antisocial activities, crime, overcrowding, disorderly behavior, social inequality, risk of security issues are all examples of the negative impacts. For the partnerships, sometimes lack of collaboration with local business, exploitation of less developed venue, lack of collaboration, and exploiting less developed countries are of the negative impacts. After we understand on event sustainability, now we are identifying the attributes of event sustainability. After we understand the positive and negative impacts of the pillars of event sustainability, we are now identifying the attributes of event sustainability. According to Griffin, there are 6 attributes to event sustainability. The first one is administration, the second one is enterprise, third is heritage aspects, fourth, infrastructure, and 5, community, and the last is visitors. All those attributes should be taken into consideration in organizing a sustainable event. Let us elaborate each attribute so we can understand more about event sustainability attributes. The first attribute is administration. This attribute is setting sustainable goals to the event management, formulate policy and regulation for all stakeholders related in the event sustainability. This context relates with the commitment of event organizer to conduct sustainable events that can be communicated, and thus the organizer can initiate and lead in event sustainability. This commitment can become a valuable differentiation aspect to make the organizer stand out, favored, and competitive in this hyper-competition with more and more sustainable requirements in future. The second attribute is on enterprise. Enterprises working in event must be able to support the event organizer's corporate goals in making the event sustainable. It means the enterprises working in event sustainability must also conduct sustainable practices, communicating the sustainable commitment and practices both internally and externally, while also using local labor and train them in sustainable practices so that they can deliver products and services in sustainable way. The third attribute is heritage. We can categorize into natural and cultural heritage. Natural heritage is natural features, geological and physiographical formation, and delineated areas that constitute the habitat of threatened species of animals, plants, and natural sites of value from the point of view of science, conservation, or natural beauty. While cultural heritage is an expression of the ways of living developed by community and passed on from generation to generation, including customs, practices, places, objects, artistic expressions, and values. The dimension of natural heritage that must be considered in event organizing, especially in organizing a sustainable event, is on how we preserve the landscape of natural environment, keeping biodiversity, and maintaining air and water quality. While the dimension of cultural heritage that must be respected is the local culture, the tradition, and value, as well as archaeological resources and history. Therefore, as an event organizer, especially in an area that is rich in nature and cultural resources, we must carefully plan and manage the event to promote those resources and avoid practices that would harm these attributes. The fourth attributes that must be concerned about is the infrastructure. Infrastructure comprises of clean water management, responsible land and energy use, sustainable ground handling, smart and green production, green logistics, and amenities. In using infrastructure attribute, we must count the carbon produced and therefore must do other activities that can replace the carbon we use to minimize the carbon footprint. We can also work together with our partners to meet sustainability goals. Usually, partnership with companies who complies with ISO 20121, B certificate, and so on is one of the options. The fifth attribute is community. In organizing event sustainability, we must consider the population, whether the event can provide many benefits to local community as the host and improve their quality of life. Local community must have access to the event, encourage them to be involved in as much activities or at least in certain programs, and have access to the event. The sixth attributes of event sustainability is visitor. As the event should consider local communities' well-being, then visitor management, such as crowd management and carrying capacity. As the event should consider local communities' well-being, then visitor management, such as crowd management and carrying capacity, is a must. Thus, event organizer must consider the maximum volume of visitors they are spending that give beneficial to local economy, ensure that their behavior comply with sustainable value and practices, provide services and hospitality that promote sustainable practice. With this regard, sustainable event organizer must educate visitors, so that their participation in event can minimize those negative impacts. Conclusion: event sustainability emergence cannot be separated with global pressure on the importance of sustainable practices on every sector in human life to conserve the Earth, since the Brundtland Report, Kyoto Protocol, and UNFCCC as a pressure to the practice of sustainable development in all sectors. There are 6 attributes on event sustainability that should be taken into consideration of event organizer today. There are 1. The administration that shows organizer commitment on sustainability. 2. The infrastructure that comply to green and sustainable practices. 3. The preservation, conservation, and respect to natural and cultural heritage. 4. The conduct of sustainable practices in event organizing value chain and ecosystem. 5. Ensuring local communities' benefit and participation. And 6. Motivating, educating, and communicating sustainable practices for visitors so their participation supports in the event sustainability. So this is the end of topic 2, the attributes of event sustainability. The next topic will be on how to put the attributes into practice of event sustainability. The next topic will be on how to put the attributes into practice of event sustainability. We will identify on how to plan and manage a step-by-step of a successful and sustainable sound of an event. See you in topic 3 of the principles of event sustainability, the planning and management of sustainable event. Thank you.